Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day number 9 of the 30-day automated income challenge. Today is all about creating something called your unique edge. And this is not only, of course, going to help you with any coaching or consulting that you want to sell. It's not the focus of what we're doing here, but it is going to help you come up with some awesome, unique product ideas. So if you're joining live, go ahead and let me know where you're tuning in from. Go ahead and drop your niche so we can go through some examples for your particular business. And of course, if you're catching the replay, comment below. Always more than happy to rapid fire some ideas. So I will jump over to our screen here. I'm feeling like a nice and comfortable OBS novice. So I'm very happy. This is probably the quickest we've had a stream start. So I'll go ahead and get this set. Obviously, my setup is still jerry-rigged here, but let's go ahead and jump in. So you can see here on our 30-day calendar, we would be technically on day 15, but we're going to combine a couple days just for YouTube because there's some boring back-end stuff that isn't really going to lend itself well to how the YouTube algorithm wants me to make these videos for you guys. But don't worry, we'll still have all the prompts and we'll go through all the important stuff here. Again, as we dive in, I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Go High Level for sponsoring this and the entire 30-day income stream challenge. And so you can check that out via the link at the top of the description or the top of the chat replay. So there's a quick little video explaining our particular strategy. And if you try Go High Level free for 30 days, you get access to all the templates you're seeing in this live series, all of our funnels and email automations, a room where you can ask me questions, community where you can ask me questions personally. And then we actually went ahead and added some live calls in there as well, so you can really get your questions answered. If you decide to stay on with Go High Level, we have some other awesome bonuses that unlock the longer you stay, because our goal is to make it so that no matter where you are on your business building journey, you have everything that you need to be successful with growing your digital product business. And here's just a quick little preview of one of the funnels that you get. So you can see you get all the pages and all the automations. So we do as much as possible. So it's just literally use AI, use our GPTs, and fill in the blanks. So again, link at the top of the description. So thank you, High Level, for sponsoring. So let's go ahead and jump in here because we're on day 15. And as a quick recap, we've already created our customer avatar. We've actually generated some product ideas. We're going to make some more unique ones, though, specific to our customer and story. And then we've come up with a story framework. Essentially, what kinds of struggles did you deal with on your own journey to success, and how can we use those experiences to relate to your future customers? And so all that to say, everything we've been doing comes down to one sentence. This is like your unique selling proposition, but I wanted to change it to unique edge because it's really easy to compare yourself with other businesses or creators in your niche and say, well, they've achieved this, they've achieved that, so how could I ever compete? A great example of this is apparently Alex Hormozi is launching his next book while I'm doing the stream. So guess who's not going to win on view count, right? We're still doing it anyway. And so when I come down here, here we go. This is a simple sentence that you can use, and this is going to be for your entire brand, your entire company. If someone asks like what you do, or someone asks how are you guys unique or different, this is the sentence that you use. And this kind of becomes your North Star, your guiding compass for how not only you start to create a unique collection of products, but you also create a unique brand kind of message and image. Of course, we can always get more advanced. We actually have an entire process for coming up with a unique methodology, kind of like if you think like Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrants or Stephen Covey's 7 habits, coming up with your own kind of methodology and model, even if it's stuff that already existed, like those two guys. It is a way to just structure and organize information that makes it easier for your potential customers to digest. So this is the sentence that we are going to be creating today. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this so I can show you. And when you fill out this sentence, it's a lot easier for AI to start to help create unique product ideas. So that's what today is all about. If you're looking at this like, where on earth is the product ideas? It's coming. We're going to have a lot of great product ideas. So just in case you don't wind up joining our 30-day trial and you don't want to jump in to the to the free community, this is a screenshot of a basic version of the prompt. Obviously, our GPT is going to be better, but I do want to make sure you have everything you need if you don't join. So I'll just leave this up for a couple seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool. So this is a basic. You can screenshot this, use it with AI, and it can come up with your own signature edge formula for you and your brand. So what I'll do here is I'll jump over to our GPT. I'm going to go ahead and, for time purposes, I went ahead and downloaded all of our info. So something that's really important with whatever you're working with inside of AI is you give it as much context about you as possible. So who's your customer? Who's your ideal customer? Your basics about like your journey. Again, you can check out the previous streams where we went through all of that. And so the other thing too that you want to keep in mind is AI's memory is not as good as GPT wants us to think. So every time I start a new thread, I actually give it all the business information over again, and I just assume that that thread can't read anything else, even with folders. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We're not we aren't doing a GPT tutorial here. So what I'm going to do is ask it to create our signature edge, and then start with an explanation. I'm on a live stream. Live stream. Okay, cool. So obviously you're not going to tell AI that you're on a live stream. But here we go. So essentially, it wants me to read this verbatim. Well, I won't read this verbatim because that would be a little weird. But essentially, just like we've talked about, just like I mentioned before, your unique edge is just all about making sure you have that one sentence power elevator pitch that clearly communicates what you as a creator, as a brand, as a product launcher. That's not the way to say that. Represent and what makes you unique. Again, it's not about being different. It's not about being better. It's just about being unique. And I realized I should have started. I had a bunch of products queued up because I wanted to have a better hook for the organic version of this video, but go figure. We will have, just in case, we'll actually go through. This is when I say digital products, this is a very simple, couple page PDF that we sold for $5. Yes, you can make thousands of dollars selling $5 offers. Then this is our Google Drive. This is like all of our back end. We can talk about delivery if there's questions about that in the chat. This is an example of a longer version of a Google Doc that was just, this is essentially how to make a sales funnel. That's it, right? This started at $5. We now have a version of this that's upwards of $39. And I actually, the other day, because I had a customer, we actually just made a GPT out of all of those templates. So if you have existing templates, you can ask AI to help you create a GPT. You can see it's beta. I literally whipped this together in 15 minutes because the customer was like, hey, thanks for the templates, but do you have a GPT? And I was like, I don't, but I can give you one. So just slap beta if you're like, I don't know if people are actually going to find value in it. So just a fun way to go about it. And apparently I've lost. Uh-oh. You can see now it's giving me the Hamilton history summary. I had a family member watching that, and I was like, is this historically accurate at all? Some weird stuff in there. All right, getting distracted. So when it comes to digital products, if I come over here, you're pretty much either going to be creating a Google Doc, you'll be creating a template inside of Canva. So this is an example of a digital product, or you'll be creating a Google Sheet. So I've got different versions of all of those ready to share. I do apologize for kind of jumping around. I just realized that I didn't provide that kind of early on context, and now I feel silly. I should have included that 5 minutes ago. So anyway, that's where we're going. So where we're starting is with this unique edge sentence, and it simply goes like this. The mechanism that allows you to life change without roadblock. And so, wait, GPT, are you pulling my leg? You are pulling my leg. So it pulled a different formula. This is the formula we want. And don't worry, this happens all the time. No, this formula, please. And this is why we do it live. If you want to know one of the banes of my existence when it comes to content creation is AI never giving me giving me examples that are off base, and I'm like, well, I'm recording. You can't prep it because you have no idea what AI will give you. But here we go. Okay, so this is the formula. This is a different formula. We don't want to use that one. I don't know why AI got confused there. So and this is for your entire brand. So the system, method, or you could just say your company, allows customer to achieve primary result and avoid roadblock or enjoy aspiration. And so when you know who your ideal customer is, when you have a general idea of your own personal story, and if you have any existing products, you can, of course, upload that as well. But here, you can see here that it created a example statement from this series. So the Automated Income Accelerator allows solopreneurs to launch their first digital product. So that's the result, launch their first digital products, and still enjoy consistent sales without spending endless hours building complicated funnels. So this is where AI, and still enjoy consistent sales. I would actually just cut this part out. That doesn't make sense, because if someone's launching their first digital product, they have no sales. So there's no consistency to zero sales. That doesn't make sense. So we'll go ahead and cut that out and say digital product, launch their first digital product without spending endless hours building complicated funnels. Done. There we go. That's as simple as we can. So it says mic dropped itself. That's funny. So what I'll go ahead and do, because GPT is making me look really silly again, and not listening. This is part of why I really don't like 5.0, because I can't tell it to which model to use. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to give it my customer. So I'm going to say, this is my customer. How do we identify it? So we want to know who's our customer. And again, this is all to create awesome, unique digital product ideas. Then we want to say what their big result and big roadblock are. So we're going to say result. And then we're going to say, roadblock. Roadblock. So roadblock is just what's getting in their way. And then I'm going to say story. And this is where obviously it takes a bit of work, but we will essentially just drop in a little bit about our own journey. So you just want to list out all the struggles, all the results you achieved. And now I'm going to say, now create UEs for me, please. And so I've given it my customer and the result they want, and a little bit about my own story. And so hopefully it can give us some ideas. So it is, so Automated Income Accelerator, Rev Alpha Canvas, Systemized Creator Method, or Freedom Funnel Blueprint, or the Automated Income Accelerator. So these are all, what you would do is you would sub in your company name. So I would say Act Marketing creates strategies that allows passionate content creators to sell digital products on autopilot and without funnel confusion, so they can focus on creating instead of endless tech headaches, or something to that effect. So actually for ease purposes, I'm going to say, please swap out the no, GPT is it's gonna take me too long to do that. So then the next one here, we have Act Marketing creates systems that allows creators to generate six-figure income streams and still enjoy their freedom without burning out, chasing algorithms, or figuring out funnels. So I'm going to say here, Act Marketing creates systems that allows. So all I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get GPT to create the unique edge for our entire company. Right now it's creating unique edges for like a specific offer. So please swap out the first part of the sentence for this. So okay, cool. Perfect. All right, there we go. So these are going to be a little more in line with what you'd want to do. So ACK Marketing creates systems that allow passionate content creators to sell digital products on autopilot without funnel confusion so they can focus on creating instead of tech headaches. Okay, cool. ACK Marketing creates systems that allows creators to generate I think there's an A there, to generate six-figure income streams and still enjoy their freedom without burning out chasing algorithms or figuring out funnels alone. So again, this is like for your entire business, is kind of like your North Star. So it's okay that there are a lot of different, that this sentence is a little clunky. We can always refine it later, right? But right now we're going to make some unique products. So then we have allows entrepreneurs to turn their content into automated income and still stay consistent without spending endless hours rebuilding failed funnel attempts. That one blows. I'll just leave it alone. And then, sorry, a little too casual. Pretty sure YouTube doesn't consider that cussing. So ACK Marketing creates systems that allow content creators to sell products in the background and still have time for travel, family, and creativity without getting lost in complicated tech setups. So I guess that's kind of true. Yeah. Time. This one would need to be workshopped a little bit. And then create systems that allow solopreneurs to finally hit consistent 10K months and still enjoy life on their terms without being chained to client work or the next upload. Okay, that's cool. So something that you want to keep in mind here, and this is paramount when it comes to figuring out why is no one connecting with my content, why is no one connecting with my products that I'm offering, is figuring out where your ideal customers are in their journey and what problems they're actually facing. So for example, if we're helping someone create their first digital product, they're probably this struggle without being chained to client work or the next upload. That would mean that our person is already a consultant, right? And we're not targeting consultants. We're targeting, content creators. So, or the next upload, that would make more sense for a content creator because content creators get in this trap. I'm in this trap too, where you just have to like keep pumping out content. Otherwise, everything goes down, right? So the other thing too is we want to make sure that we are focused on, we know what our ideal customers are already trying or doing, so we can address that in this sentence. So here's what I'll do. Here's what I would do. I would go through and I'd pull out the things that I like, and then I would explain why I like them. So I'm going to move my mouse here. And so I think the first one actually wound up being the best. So I'm going to say allow to sell digital products on autopilot. So I'm going to highlight that and say best result. So this is the best result that we have. Okay, cool. And then create systems that allows creators. Hello. Think First Media, good evening. Welcome. Awesome to have you aboard again. So for these sentences, we've got our unique edge here. So we'll just go through and we'll say allow passionate content creators to sell digital products. If we're looking at all of the different results, so again, if we scroll up here, where's our formula? Show me the formula, right? So when GPT creates this formula for us, you still want to think of it in terms of sections. So we have this menu of options and we're just telling GPT which sections we like the most so it can kind of go that direction. So for our result, I like passionate, best customer / result, right? Because our customer, passionate content creators. For me, that's important because I don't want to help deal with the opportunity seekers who are like, oh, I don't know what niche to do. Which one makes the most money? I'm like, you're going to lose if that's your very first question. So then we want to call out and still enjoy their freedom. Well, they don't have freedom yet because they don't have their automated their automated income. So without funnel confusion. So that's a good one. So I would say roadblocks here. So I'm going to say without, and of course I can add without funnel confusion. So that's a roadblock that I like. So they can focus on creating instead of tech headaches. So I do like this. And I'll say aspirations. Yes, that's spelled incorrectly. Of course it is. All right. Allow streams still enjoy their freedom without burning out on algorithms or figuring out funnels alone. That's a little, I think this overlaps with tech headaches. And tech headaches are a real thing. Without burnout chasing algorithms. So this is something that every content creator faces, right? So we're helping them build a digital product and not succumb to being stuck with the algorithm. And then we say, we have here, without spending endless hours rebuilding failed funnel attempts. So when you read a sentence like this, you go, okay, so now we're assuming that they already built a funnel. Probably not a good idea for this is their first time, right? And so then we'll come down here, sell digital products in the background. I get the concept that GPT is going for, like it sells in the background on autopilot, but we already have autopilot's pretty self-explanatory. So I don't think we would want to use that and still have time for travel, family, and creativity. So this sentence right here, still have time for travel. So this isn't something that they already have. This is something that they want in the future. So they can have. So we'd say, so they can enjoy travel time. So they can enjoy time for travel, family, and creativity. Cool, right? And then also this is family too, right? Like, what age of people are you targeting? Because if you're targeting young adults and teenagers, obviously they don't have families, so we shouldn't talk about that. But I like to target millennials and up. Can't relate to the generations lower than me. So ACT marketing creates consistent 10K months. All right, so this is also, I would be very careful when you're creating your new edge to have something super specific, like lose 10 pounds or achieve XYZ in 90 days. I would just leave it big picture. And that's simply because we don't really know where people are starting. And this is kind of broad for our entire company, right? And still enjoy life on their terms without being chained to client work or the next upload. Let's see. Without being chained to client work or the next upload. So I'm going to say the next upload because referencing client work, either they're not a consultant, not everyone's going to be a consultant, and not every content creator who's exploring digital products is thinking about consulting, because I'll just tell you from personal experience, what most, I'd say, gurus don't tell us about being a consultant or high ticket sales or high ticket coaching is you have to be chained. You are chained to your desk. You have to show up for sales calls all day long. And when you're starting, it's really fun to have a call at 3 and then not have a call till 5. And then you're like, okay, I have this awkward hour and a half break. And then the person at 5 doesn't show up anyway. So you could have gone out to dinner with your family and you're just like, what the heck? So it's not fun. So every time I see those ads of get your calendar full, that sounds awful, because then you're just stuck sitting here all day. And you have calls every 45 to 90 minutes. It's not a fun. So anyway, I'm going to say I like these the most. The most. 5 more ideas, please. So we have our menu. We just kind of whittle it down. If you've been following along, you're probably familiar with this. Create a menu, tell it what you like, and then whittle it down. So let's see if we can get one here. Systems that allow passionate content creators sell digital products on autopilot. That should be the standard throughout. So we're only looking at the last part of the sentence. without funnel confusion so they can spend more time creating and less time stressing over tech. Now I'm starting to think stressing over tech. I don't know how big of a deal that is. I know it's a big deal, but is it big enough deal to put it here? So anyway, here we go. Digital products without burning out chasing algorithms so they can focus on building a brand that lasts. Okay, passionate content creators care about brands. So that's good. And so we see sell digital products on autopilot, still enjoy the time freedom, create without worrying about. Okay, so GPT still thinks that people already have this, which they don't. So I'm going to skip number 3. Number 3 is a complete dud. And here we have without funnel headaches, giving them more time for family, freedom, and fun. Woohoo, the 3 Fs. Family, freedom, fun. No F words. Okay, digital products on autopilot and still achieve consistent income while protecting their creativity from burnout. That's also, I don't know if you'd ever say, hey, passionate creator, do you want to protect your creativity from burnout? I'd be like, what? That doesn't even make sense. So I think for our 2 here, I think number 1 and number 2 are actually the winners. So without funnel confusion, so they can finally spend more time creating. So they can spend more time creating and creating to build a brand that lasts. I'm going to say creating to build a brand that lasts. So they can finally spend more time creating to build a brand that lasts. There we go. So that would be number 1. And then number 2 would be the same thing, digital products without funnel confusion. And we would say, so they can here we go. So they can. So these are the 2 unique edges that I would go with. I like the first one, but I'll just say these are the 2. So I'll say here, don't worry, we're getting to the unique product. Here we go. So these would be my top 2. Please So when you're unsure, especially when it comes to anything business strategy or marketing, we can just say, hey, analyze this as a seasoned seasoned entrepreneur or as a marketing expert. Weigh the pros and cons so I can make a decision. And so instead of me trying to fumble through my words and say, oh, this one versus that one, we can just go ahead and have AI run through it for us. And so it's going to give us our strengths. It's going to give us the limitations. And so what I'll do is I'll just focus on the limitations. So for our first one, where we are focused on creating the roadblock removal is funnel confusion, and the aspiration is more time building a brand they care about. So the limitations of that: build a brand that lasts, feels visionary, but less urgent. Okay, true. Work-oriented aspiration emphasizes more time creating, appeals to ambitious creators, but doesn't hit the lifestyle freedom desire that many solopreneurs crave. So this is one of those areas where you go, okay, do I care more about talking to ambitious creators, or do I care more about talking to solopreneurs? Creators. I care more about talking to creators here. So might be less magnetic for burned out creators who are tired of creating and want leverage instead. I'm not sure I agree with that. By the way, you don't have to agree with everything AI does. So if I was doing this not on a stream, I would probably push back on this. I would explain why I disagree and then see if AI can come up with another angle to essentially rebuttal my argument for why this is not true. So AI is fun to argue with because it doesn't get emotional. Obviously, if you start dropping expletives at it, it gets some attitude. Just remember, Rise of the Machines in like 20 years. Be nice. So then we have our second one here where our aspiration is time, family, freedom, and fun. So much broader, right? And so less professional edge could feel generic. This is the main reason I don't want to use it. Everyone says more time, family, freedom, blah blah blah. And my underplay brand building doesn't emphasize authority or long-term business identity much. That's I didn't think of that. So that's true. So we'll go ahead and go with this first one. So I'm going to just go ahead and quote it and let AI know. All right, this is my top pick. Okay. Okay, here we go. So what we'll do now, we have our unique edge, right? This is what makes our brand unique. So I'm going to say, all right, now that we figured out what makes us unique, this is how we're going to say, hey, we're different because we help help passionate creators. What was what was it? You see how the memory of a goldfish. That was so dramatic and I lost it. So hey, we build systems that allow passionate content creators to sell digital products on autopilot without funnel confusion so they can finally spend more time creating a brand that lasts, or build a brand that lasts. Okay. So that's really clear in terms of this is what we do. As singular focus as it feels, most successful creators and brands can boil down their entire kind of unique selling proposition to one sentence. And then you just kind of build out from there. Of course, I'll have, other types of products and services eventually, but this is kind of where we're going to focus to make sure we are creating a unique set of product ideas. And I know we've been here quite a while, but this is where we finally have some unique product ideas. So, when creating product ideas, you essentially say, hey, this is my unique edge. Come up with some $3 to $5 product ideas. I added in a little bit of extra info to remind it that, hey, I attached a bunch of stuff. Please read through that. And then I added some stages of awareness. If you're doing this outside of the GPT, just ignore that, right? That's just going to overcomplicate things. I'm trying to shortcut some back and forth with it here. So we have some enrolling offer ideas, the burnout to balance checklist. We have the funnel clarity map and the content to cash formula. I think 2 and 3 are probably ideas we could run with. Number 1, definitely the burnout to balance checklist. That's I don't think people are going to pay $3 for a burnout balance checklist. I'm not even sure what that means or does. So we'll come down here, $5 funnel fix, the 24-hour product launcher, the creator's autopilot tool kit. These are, so GPT is actually creating ideas that are way more than $5. So here's what I would do when I'm looking at these and going, okay, funnel clarity map, that could be a $5 offer. Content to cash, how to turn content into automated income while traveling abroad. The goal is to, I feel like AI is really letting me down on today's stream. There's so much I have to change. Of course, that's not a good idea because when people are trying to be successful with creating automated products, traveling abroad's probably the end goal. They're not actively traveling. They're not there yet. So funnel fix, man, I feel so silly right now. So I feel really silly right now. So I'm going to, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, these I like. So I'm going to say I like this one. And then I like the content to cash formula. However, the travel it's an aspiration. I'm not going to fix my spelling. And then for these, so the $5 funnel fix micro audit, fill in the blank worksheet. Excuse me. So this is assuming that someone already has a funnel put together, which we're helping someone create their first product. So obviously they don't have a funnel to create to audit. And then we have the 24-hour product launcher, no complicated tech, quick wins creators of the stage. And I like this one. Because I know this one, 24-hour product launcher, unless I'm going to tell someone to stay up till 3 a.m., which is probably not a good idea, I don't know how on earth I could deliver on that promise. And so that's okay. And you can say, then I like this one. And I can just ask for more ideas like this. More ideas along these lines, please. So we'll go ahead and generate some more. So it's going to come up with some more. 3 funnel mistakes every creator makes. The first $100 digital product roadmap. 1-page autopilot funnel. That's funny because actually this idea, 1-page, autopilot funnel is this offer here. So I actually know it's a good idea, and I know it actually works because we have something so similar. Except me in my genius, I called this the sales funnel organizer. Thumbs up for the worst possible way to name an offer. That's just ridiculous. From content to customer flowchart, the funnel-free sales formula. So it's really latched on to creating funnels, of course. And so what I could do here is I could look at these, and this next step's the hardest part, but this is going to be where the true unique offers come in, right? So if you think about your own journey, and this is assuming that you're on a similar journey that you're helping your customers with. So think of yourself in like when you very first started on your journey, think of yourself in month 2 or 3 of your journey, because that's kind of the sweet spot, right? So month 2 or 3. And try and think about what was it that you were trying to do or figure out at that point. And then would any of these, and you kind of put yourself back in your shoes and think, would any of these have helped me at that time? Again, we're at month 2 or 3. If you're month like 6 or 7, then that's an advanced offer you can make later. But we're month 2 or 3 in your journey. So if I'm thinking of when I first started to become a content creator, when I first wanted to be a content creator, or I first wanted to market my registered investment advisory practice, which one of these would have spoken to me, right? Like which one of these do I think would have been most helpful? And so this is kind of how you start connecting the ideas we have here to your customer's journey. And so for me, if I'm looking at this and I'm going through it, I'm going to say, okay, 3 funnel mistakes every creator makes. Sounds like a good video, but I haven't built anything yet, so I don't think that's going to be helpful to me. The first $100, I'd say your first $100 digital product roadmap. Turn your skills into a $100 digital product in 5 steps. Yes, this would speak to a content creator who's in month 2 or 3 trying to figure out how to create some digital products. So this is a good idea. I think it matches that month 2 or 3 kind of in my journey and our customer's journey. So 1-page autopilot funnel, a Canva Notion template of a single page funnel layout that works for beginners, easy to implement, instantly useful, and shows automation That doesn't have to be complicated. Again, this would be valuable to someone in month 2 or 3 of trying to figure out this whole digital marketing, sell products online thing. I also know this would work because Samcart made an entire campaign around their one-page funnel because they were checkout software. So they're like, hey, instead of telling people to have upsells and downsells and order bumps and webinars, why don't we just tell people, hey, make a sales page? So I 2 and 3 I definitely think would work. The creator's email swipe pack, a mini bundle, 3 pre-written emails that can plug into their own funnel. Fastest taste of sell once, automate forever. So this one, if we're talking about someone in month 2 or 3, they don't have an email list yet. I didn't have an email list yet. So creators, instead of, creator sales email swipe pack, we could say something creators list kickstart or something like that, right? So instead of saying here's how to write a bunch of emails, we're going to say here's how to get emails in the first place. So that's how we'd swap out number 4. And then number 5, content to customer flowchart, a visual map showing one piece of content can be turned into leads, emails, and sales. There's probably not enough there for a digital product, but I could say, all right, if we're talking to content creators, maybe we can go about and saying we could create this is a $3 offer where we're saying, here's how to naturally pitch your newsletter inside of your content without turning people off, right? And then we could just have like this long laundry list of different phrases and different segues, so people just kind of know what to say. Obviously, GPT might nuke that idea. Content creators might just go to GPT for that. So again, with all of these ideas, just approach it as if AI doesn't exist and can't do everything yet. And then you can create a series of prompts, or you can create a GPT. And so that's what I would look at for the customer flow chart. And then free funnel formula, how to sell your first product without a full funnel build. That's pretty nebulous. I don't really know what this would look like. And I think this would overlap with the product roadmap and the one-page autopilot. So what I can do here is I can highlight these guys. So I can say numbers 1 and 2, solid. Give me a full breakdown of how to create these in a Google Doc as a template. A list of prompts we could make. Cool. So it's Google Doc and prompts, right? Then for number 3, switch and finally, okay, here we go. Keep in mind, you're going to be able to go through this a lot faster because you're not trying to explain everything. So I said 1 and 2 are solid. Just give me a full breakdown of how to create these in a Google Doc as a template. Then a list of prompts we could make, right? Because AI everything now. And then for number 3, switch it to growing a list. Scott's my ideal customer, so just put that in there. Doesn't have to be so essentially saying focus on growing the list. And then what are 5 out-of-the-box ideas to make these really, and I mean really, unique compared to other offers? So we'll go through here. It will start coming up with an actual outline for our offers. And so this is where we can start digging in, and it can start to help us create essentially a nice worksheet for people inside of a Google Doc. And Google Docs I've found to be the best format for this. And you can see here, it gives us a layout, the intro, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, we can dig into this with AI, have it help us create just each section, quick summary, set of instructions, and then, fill in the blanks, right? And then it gives us some prompt ideas. We can have AI help us create those prompts. So it's the template plus the prompts. And then the list building pivot, it went ahead and figured out a plan on how to get your first 100 subscribers. And then out of the box ideas. Number 5 is terrible. That's simply changing it to a PDF is not an out of the box idea. So instead of just info, embed a fill in the blank sections in Google Docs or Notion, so it feels like they're working alongside you. That's a good idea. I think that's the definition of a worksheet. Mini challenge formatting, position it as a 3-day product challenge. So this is more of a how to market it versus actually making the product better or different. Offer 70% flowcharts and checklists and maps instead of walls of text. So it's really easy to overdo it with graphics inside of worksheets and templates. And so I would actually say no to this. Each section starts with a mini story. Do not do this. This is a bad idea. And then bundle hybrid access. So we had a strikeout on all of those. I could explain to AI why each one of those won't work very well, but I think for time purposes, I'll go ahead and leave it there. If you're joining live, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section if you have any questions or you have your niche that you would want to create a unique edge for. I do apologize. If you notice, my energy is a lot lower today. I injured my back working out yesterday, and it just will not stop screaming at me. So when it comes to, unique product ideas, it does take some time to work with AI to kind of figure it out. But when you start with the unique edge formula, so if I scroll all the way back up here, because we covered a lot of prompts today. But when we start with this guy, and I'm going to grab it, jump over to ours and paste it in so we have it. So there we go. I've added it here. Again, this is inside the 30-day challenge. Shout out to High Level for sponsoring. And so once you have kind of this unique edge formula, you have this really clear one sentence that can easily help you start to come up with ideas that not only serve your specific ideal customer, but speak directly to the result that you're helping them achieve. And the things that are getting in their way. So funnel confusion was what we decided is the big roadblock. So all of our ideas around breaking down that process of creating a funnel so it's as easy as possible for people to get to what they want, which is sell digital products on autopilot so they can finally spend more time creating a brand that lasts. And then when it comes to sales copywriting, of course, we have another stream where we went through the sales page formula. Inside the template, there's a full-blown sales letter, template in there. One of the previous streams, we built this out using AI as well. But that last part of the sentence here, spend more time creating to build a brand that lasts. This is going to be really important when it comes time to create your sales letter, because that's probably going to go in your headline, or if not, at least your sub-headline, so that when you are selling this to people, selling this, like for me, selling this to content creators, all of a sudden I'm speaking to what I think is the big thing they actually want. So instead of just saying, hey, here's how to have funnels less confusing, it's, hey, here's how to put together a one-page sales letter so you can easily sell your products on autopilot and spend more time creating content and building the brand that matters, or something like that, right? So we connect the result to the greater aspiration, right? So just saying, hey, you'll make more money. Well, duh, of course. Oh, everyone says they'll make more money. But when you nail this next part in your presentation of your offers, so you can create a brand that lasts, you go, oh, they get it. They get why I want to make more money. They get why I want to automate my income, right? And of course, this takes a little bit of testing, but this is kind of where we go a step deeper, and that's how we help our product stand out, because we not only just say the obvious result, this will save you time, even if you don't have an experience, this will save you money, this will make you money, this will, give you way more time. I know I'm repeating myself. Time, money, experience. Those are the three major roadblocks. Some version of those, right? Almost every digital product in every niche does some combination of that. You don't have the time, you want more money, or you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough experience. Like, it's some combination of addressing those issues. And so when we have sales copy and messaging that addresses the next thing, which is why do they care? Because they want to build a brand, or as the second one, or because they want more time with their family, more time with their kids, or they want to get in shape because they want to, be able-bodied with their grandkids, whatever it might be. When you can connect it to that greater aspiration that isn't just time, money, experience, then you can actually stand out with a unique offer. So let me know if you have any questions in the live chat. I want to thank everyone for joining who did tune in. Again, link in the description to Go High Level. When you sign up for the free 30-day trial, you get all of our funnel templates, as well as a crazy stack of bonuses if you decide to stay on. And of course, we do have live streams in there as well to help you out with putting together all of this and more. So Q&A via text, and then of course live workshops as well, probably starting kicking up again this week. Although, like I mentioned, my back is killing me, so we will see. So it doesn't look like I have any other questions today. So yeah, Think First Media, awesome. No questions today. Think First, if you did join, I was looking at the list. Obviously, I know you don't share your public name, but go ahead and drop me a chat in the community, and we can brainstorm some more ideas, and I can send you links to some of the GBTs, the GBT chats that I did on the previous live streams as well. Save those for you. So just message me in there. And of course, if you're watching the replay, if you have any questions about this process and coming up with unique digital product ideas and making sure that you tie it to a greater aspiration in your sales copy, go ahead and drop those in the comments section below. Awesome that you did join Think First. So I'll look for you. I'll look for you in there. And if you're not in there, come on over and join. Not a lot of people ask me questions in there. It's almost like private coaching. Almost. Shouldn't say that. It's going to piss off my private coaching student clients. I'm just kidding. They know. They know a lot of people don't. So Think First, I will see you in the community. And thank you to everyone else who's watching, even if you're not commenting. It's awesome to know that there are other people on the other side of the screen. So thank you again so much. Tomorrow we will be, I am totally blanking on what tomorrow is. GPT was actually analyzing this for me and like, dude, you got to make a hook for the next one. So tomorrow we're actually going to be doing a full demo of Go High Level. So I'm going to jump into my Go High Level account, and it's not going to be a tutorial. Don't worry. It's not click by click. It's not going to be one of those 3-hour ones, but I'll just show you exactly how I've set everything up from start to finish, from content scheduling, from content scheduling to the sales funnels, the product pages, the actual delivery, combining membership sites or community sites if you want. And so that will be what we'll be doing tomorrow. And again, Go High Level is sponsoring all this, obviously. And so if you have any questions on that, you can go ahead and drop them in the comments on the next one. So I will see you tomorrow. Awesome. Thanks, Think First Media. I'll see you inside the community. And to everyone else, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow with the Go High Level, what is it? the Go High Level demo. Okay, I'm a little